which company has a dominating market share? We're talking about more than 90% of market share in their niche market, small cap, no debts, that would make a perfect fit for an acquisition that is in my portfolio. This is what we're going to talk about right today. My name is Mike Héroux and I am the founder of Dividend Stocks Rocks. I am a passionate investor and I have this YouTube channel to help you invest with more conviction so you can enjoy your retirement. Every other 2 or 3 weeks, I cover one of my holding in my portfolio, and today we are going to talk about a small company in auto parts named Gentex GNTX. This company has 90% of market share in auto dimming mirrors. You're gonna say, well, what is that, Mike? Well, when you're driving at night and then there's like lights, car lights in your mirrors, there was like a dim that will happen, and this is likely going to be manufactured by Gentex. So small business, niche market, tons of patents. We're going to look at the business model in a second. Pro rating of 5 and dividend safety score of 4. Unfortunately, the dividend safety score will likely change this year. We're going to talk about that today. But now let's take a look at what is Gentex. As you can see, not a big business. So we're talking about a market cap of 6-7 billions, 5,000 employees, mostly in North America, some in Europe, some in Asia. The company is more like almost like a tech stocks for cars. So it has almost 2,000 patents. We're mostly talking about auto dimming mirrors, auto dimming lights, so like hot daylights and low lights. We have like lots of application for cars and also for airplanes, and they also have a segment for fire security as well. When we look a little bit closer, we see that we're talking about the vision system, so everything that has lights, windows, mirrors, dimmable device, and connectivity and sensing system. So it's all about the Internet of Things. It's all about the communication of all devices within your car. And this is what I like about this one is they're not making tons of stuff, but they're incredibly good at what they're doing. And what enables them is to generate tons of cash flow. What you see on this graph here is cash flow from operation from the Gentex since for the past 10 years. You can see that it was way up right before the pandemic. Now it has struggled a little bit in terms of growth, still generating a lot of cash flow for this kind of business, but unfortunately now they have to face a lot of problems. So we're talking about chain supply disruption, lower sales in terms of light vehicles and other vehicles as well. So there's that slowdown in the automotive industry, not really about their fault and not because the economy is not going well, but just about chain supply disruption. However, with this company generating a lot of cash flow, what they do is they use it for more capital expenditure. They will invest a lot in R&Ds. As I said, it's like a tech stock for cars. They're going to also use some cash flow for mergers and acquisition. They are buying back shares massively. Actually, the stock price is pretty slow right now, so it's a good timing for them to buy back more shares. They used to be very generous in terms of dividend growth. You can see from this presentation, the last increase was in March of 2020, up 4%. They were able to increase their dividends since 2010, but unfortunately, they kind of forgot in 2021, which kind of sucked. The yield is almost at 2% right now. It's not necessarily a dividend growers if we don't see a dividend increase this year, but I have a feeling that something is boiling because yes, the market is slowing down right now, but it's more like a short-term thing instead of a long-term thing. So I'm pretty sure they may look at a major acquisition, or on the other way around, they might get acquired. Because the thing that I love the most about Gentex, especially in a nervous market, is this company has $0 in debt. So when you're thinking about a company that is a major leader in their market, they're relatively small and they have no debts, that pretty much tick all the boxes for an acquisition, right? So a company like Magna International, for example, could be quite interested in buying Gentex. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but you know, in my last video last week, I've discussed Intertape Polymer being bought and then Activision Blizzard being bought as well. Those were two stock on our buy list at Dividend Stocks Rock, and actually Gentex is also on there. So maybe we're gonna be 3-3 for 2022. I don't know, but in the meantime, this company that's placed on my portfolio is more about growth. Obviously, it's not with like a 1.8, 1.9% yield. I'm going to make a lot of money out of this one in terms of dividend, but the company has a lot of growth vectors. You have to understand that they sell a lot of auto-dimming mirrors and lights in Europe, but for lights, it just happened that there's 25% of cars that have it right now. So there's plenty of growth there. They're the best company in the market for that. And with their patents, it helps them to protect this market from them. They can also grow. They have been growing a lot with airplanes, with auto-dimming windows. So you can see that there's a lot of application on their patents and their technology, which is kind of great for that. And I'm pretty sure that it will make them a stronger business going forward. Taking on a little bit more debts could also be helpful later down the road, especially if there's a big acquisition coming up. So it's either one or the other, but definitely something is brewing. When you look at the dividend triangle, you can see that the stock price has plateaued since the pandemic in 2021. That could make it a very good price for acquisition. In the meantime, the business is using their cash flow to buy back shares, which is kind of smart. We can see with the dividend triangle, we see that plateau not only on the stock price, but also for revenue and earnings. It has been on the growth path all the way through, and now all the metrics of the dividend triangle, so revenue, earnings, and dividend, has slowed down and plateaued since 2020. So what's going to happen next is a bit unknown. In my position right now, I'm not too worried because the fundamentals are still there. The reason why I bought these stocks in the first place are still there. So dominating market, niche one, no debt, growth vectors for the future. I think that there's a lot of money being invested in automotive right now, and Gentex will be one of the companies that will be able to surf on this tailwind. So sometimes it's about patience. If you're an investor and you bought those stocks, I bought shares of Gentex back in 2017, so I'm already sitting on a good profit. I'm cashing that dividend, so that's good for me. I'm going to take a quite close look to the dividend growth going forward. Right now, I'm not too worried, but going forward, it will have to come up there, or I will need some more news. So it's one thing to buy back shares, but I'm a dividend growth investor at one point, and if the stocks still stagnate at this point, I will have to reconsider my position, but we're not there yet. Just thinking a little bit more in the future. In the meantime, I think that this is exactly a great situation for a company to get acquired. So that's my biggest hope right now. In the next maybe 12 months, we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, the dividend is safe. Company is strong. It can weather any kind of recession because it has no debt and it still generates some healthy cash flow. So you don't have to worry about anything. So if you want a company that has strong upside potential and at the same time is not like overvalued, we're talking about like 16 or 17 forward PE ratio as well. So it's showing a pretty great overall picture right now. So I'm holding on to my shares. I'm quite happy with them. And hopefully we're going to see some growth coming up later on in 2022. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Let me know in your comments what you think of Gentex or any other companies that you think that could be acquired in the next 6-9 months. That could be interesting. We're going to take a look at those, and maybe I'm going to be able to do videos on them as well. So, and in the meantime, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Every Thursday morning, you're going to get a new video. And until the next one, don't forget to stay invested.